Welcome back to Band Space. On today's lesson, we're going to make some sounds on the neck and the mouthpiece. Before we learn how to make a sound on the mouthpiece, we first have to learn how to use proper posture. We sit on the edge of our chair with our feet flat on the floor. Our back should be 6 inches off the back of the chair, and our back should be as straight as possible. Great sounds come from great posture. The way we form our mouth to make a sound on the saxophone is called our embouchure. This right here. To play the saxophone, we first have to open our mouth and roll our bottom lip over the bottom teeth. Let's pretend that your finger is chapstick or lipstick. And what we're going to do is pretend to put on chapstick or lipstick on our bottom lip. The way I do it is I stick my jaw out slightly, I pull my corners back, and I get a real thin lip. You want your bottom lip to very lightly cover the top of the bottom teeth. Think thin. Try to get your bottom teeth to line up with your top teeth. If this is your bottom teeth, imagine this being your top teeth. When we're playing saxophone, we want to think about taking our teeth and kind of lining them. So bringing our jaw out some and maybe a little bit further. That's how I create my bottom lip being very thin, from normal to this. I pull my corners back, I flatten my chin, and the bottom lip is rolled over the teeth. Now, it's not crazy rolled back in my mouth. It's not like this. This is wrong. You see how far back that is? This is like fatty lip. And if I flex by pulling back, it thins it out. So we want a thin lip here. This is going to provide a cushion for the reed. When the reed sits on top of the lip, it's going to create a cushion. Once we get the bottom lip set, the top teeth have the easy part. All they're going to do is rest on top of the mouthpiece. Now that we know our bottom lip is rolled in and our teeth get on top, we have to figure out how much mouthpiece do we put in the mouth. The part where the reed first touches on the mouthpiece, that's called the fulcrum. If you look at the side and you put it up to a light, you can find the fulcrum. That's right where the reed hits the rails of the mouthpiece. What I would recommend is putting the mouthpiece in, and you're going to have to experiment. If you put too much mouthpiece in, you're going to squawk. If you put too little mouthpiece in, the reed is going to be completely closed off, and if the reed is closed off, it can't vibrate, which means it can't make a sound. So you've got to find a happy spot for the mouthpiece to be in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my bottom lip in, pull my corners back, open up the mouth, and I'm going to rest the reed on my lip. Teeth go on top. Now, if I do too little, if I put my lip right on the tip like this, the reed won't vibrate. If the reed doesn't vibrate, we ain't going to make a sound. If we put too much mouthpiece in, we're going to squawk, and that isn't true. It's not a good sound. Okay, now here's what happens if I put too little mouthpiece in. That doesn't work. Now if I put too much mouthpiece in, that's not good. Be very careful not to put your teeth on the bottom. Once again, the lip rolls in to cushion the reed. You never want to go, this is bad. When you make a sound like that, there is some animal that is probably like trying to gnaw their face off. Don't put your reed on the teeth. Finding that perfect spot for you is going to take some experimentation. But your spot where your mouth goes on the reed and the mouthpiece, and my spot is probably going to be slightly different because I'm different than you are. My teeth are different than your teeth. My facial structure is different than your facial structure. We are different people. So it's going to be slightly different for you than it is for me. This is the part where I want to tell you about the 4 F's. When we think about playing a saxophone, we need to think about the 4 F's, which is firm corners, flat chin, flat cheeks, and fast air. Breathing is kind of tricky. I mean, we could do an entire lesson just on breathing, but when we play the saxophone, we don't breathe from our nose. We breathe from our mouth. And more importantly, we're going to breathe from the corners. Watch. I'm keeping the neck and the mouthpiece firm to my face. Now, I'm not pulling back really hard, but I am keeping it firm to my face. Watch this. You're going to get a really flat, wimpy sound if you don't have it firm to the face. These are not good sounds. My lip is too loose and my teeth are not in alignment, and that's why I'm making a poor sound. What I need to do is pull back on the mouthpiece just a little bit to make it a little firmer, and I need to make sure that my chin is flat and my corners are firm. Now, can I puff my cheeks and make a decent sound? Yeah, but it's not great. I don't have good control. And playing a wind instrument is about being in control of your body and your air. When I puff my cheeks, I lose control. These are all bad sounds. That's kind of some of the sounds I hear from beginners. And the reason it sounds like that is because your muscles in your embouchure are not used to doing this. This might be the first time that you've ever played a wind instrument. So your muscles are like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm playing saxophone. And your muscles are like, well, what's that? And then you have to tell your muscles, it's cool, man. It's cool. We're going to learn how to do this together. And the muscles say, okay. So your muscles have to get trained. It's like weightlifting for your face. Yeah, weightlifting for your face. So here's what we need to do. You need to take your mouthpiece and your neck, and I want you to make the longest, most steady sound that you can make. Pause the video now and just make it as long and as smooth as possible. Once again, this is what you want it to sound like. That's what you want it to sound like. You want it to be nice and smooth and continuous. Smooth, smooth, not chunky, not wiggly, smooth. We want you to be able to make the most beautiful sound possible, and making good sounds on the saxophones starts by making a good sound on the neck and the mouthpiece. So practice this a whole bunch. Make it a goal between now and the next lesson to see how long you can hold the note. A good 10 to 15 seconds would be a fantastic start, and that's not really that hard to do. For our next video, we're going to put the neck together with the body, and we're going to learn where to put our fingers on the saxophone. We'll catch you guys next time. See ya.